sea has gone cold. The tea has gone cold.
Welcome to my basement, everyone. This is where I record all of my YouTube videos. Today I'm going to take you behind the scenes of a video that I want to do. I'm going to record a song and I want to show you step by step of how I go about recording this. Everything from like the mic position to the preamps, to the lighting, to the camera settings, everything that I use step by step, just to record a very basic, simple song with one microphone. All right, so first thing I want to do is work out how and where I'm gonna set up. I don't want to be right bang in the center of the room because I might get some strange reflections. So I'm thinking just towards here, maybe sort of this area, something like that. So this right here is the Neumann MT48 audio interface, which I'll be using today. I'm just going straight in. I won't be using any EQ or effects or anything like that. I might have some reverb in my headphones, so I won't print the reverb. And the DAW I'm using is Reaper today. And I've just got basic setup, a low cut filter of 60 Hertz, just to cut out that really low bottom end that I don't need. And I literally just bring up the gain to how I want. And I just try and get somewhere in between -12 and -6 dB. I got to be really careful not to go over -6 too much, because I want a lot of headroom. Okay, so now I've got it all set up, got the mic set up, and got the first position ready. And now I'm ready for monitoring and making adjustments. So this is the Neumann TLM107 microphone, and you can actually change the polar pattern with this mic, but I'm going to keep it on the cardioid polar pattern. By the way, I should mention in all transparency, my good friends at Neumann did send me this microphone and the audio interface that I'm using in this recording. This is not a sponsored video. They don't even know that I'm making this video, but I'm just borrowing their equipment to use in this recording. So this is like the first position I might start it at. This is around maybe 60 centimeters from me. I have the microphone kind of pointing at my chest. I usually have my guitar raised with a footstool, so the balance is a bit more equal, so it's closer to my voice. So I'm just gonna kind of play the song and sing, and then I'm gonna kind of hear how the microphone reacts with that, and then I'm gonna make small adjustments accordingly. Let's try it. It's a very soft song, so I'm kind of looking for a very close sound. So I don't want it too far away. That's both with the vocals and the guitar. So that's another reason why I have the guitar up quite high. I mean, especially on this song, I'm singing quite softly and I'm playing guitar quite softly. And I really want the guitar to sort of, you to feel every string, every note. You know, I want it to be very clear. It's quite low as well, so I need to be careful that the mic is not too near the sound hole. So I have it kind of pointing at the 12th fret here, and I might sort of make, it's a good thing, is like I can make slight adjustments where I'm sitting, or the position. I mean, I'm talking about like millimeters, but it might make all the difference. For example, just on the angle that I'm playing, I can play like this. And you're getting a lot of that low end. If you're listening on headphones, you can definitely hear that. But if I play like this now, you're getting a lot less. So even that subtle, slight change of angle affects the sound dramatically, So it's, with everything, it's a middle ground. It's a balance with everything, especially when using one mic. So I've got to be conscious about where I'm pointing when I'm playing, but not so conscious that I'm not relaxed. The most important thing is the performance for me, is that I'm relaxed and I'm giving it a great performance, or the best performance that I can, and I'm feeling inspired by the sound. So I've got to be conscious about the angle that I'm playing and where I'm playing, positioning my guitar and where I'm projecting my vocals. But at the same time, not so much that I'm thinking too much about that, and I'm not focusing on the performance, So it's a balance, but I feel like this is quite a good position. So it's roughly sort of maybe 60, maybe 50, 55 or something centimeters away from me, something like this. And, again, with these positions, I don't know if I will use headphones when I'm performing or not. The benefits of not using headphones when you're performing is I'm not thinking too much about the sound. I'm concentrating solely on my performance, but also the benefit of using headphones when recording is that I can make these slight adjustments, when I have a particular moment where I want the vocals to be more present, I can just kind of lean in a little bit further, and it makes all the difference. So that's one huge benefit of using headphones. I can still do that without headphones, but, I'm just kind of guessing as to how it sounds, I can't decide. And then, like this, maybe. I always struggle with this part. I'm never completely happy with the guitar, the balance between the guitar and the vocals. I'm at the point where this position, the guitar sounds really great. It sounds lush and full, but the vocals, the volume is not so much so. But if I bring up the mic a little bit more, the volume of the vocals is much better. But the guitar doesn't sound quite as good. So I'm tempted to go with the vocals more, even though I really like the sound of the guitar. It's this fine balance, it's like a tiny little bit. It's just making these decisions, which takes the time. So I should say, as I'm adjusting it, I'm recording. So I record each adjustment of the microphone, and I make sure I say on which recording this is, a rough sort of guide, so I know which it is. And I'll make lots of these different recordings with the microphone in different positions. And then I'll go and have a listen back to them because, obviously as I'm listening now is not exactly the same as how I would listen to it back on a recording, because obviously as I can't quite listen in the same way whilst I'm playing at the same time. Does that make sense? So I make sure I do take recordings of them, of each position, then I go and listen back, and then I'll make a judgment on how each one sounds. So I'm always make sure that I'm playing the song that I'm actually going to be recording, whilst I'm setting up the microphone. That's vital because I set it up different each time because I didn't want a different sound with each song, I kind of have my first go-to position and then I adjust accordingly. And like I said, with this song, I want it really intimate and a really kind of close sound. So I might actually be a little closer to how I would be normally, on a different song, So it really depends on the song and the kind of sound that I'm after. All right, so now I'm going to take this massive light behind me and I'm going to move it to the right-hand side. And it's going to be pointing at me. It's going to be my main key light, my only light that's lighting me up. And it's going to be pointing down from above on the right-hand side. The reason I choose the right-hand side is because I'm right-handed and I play the guitar like this. So my guitar generally is facing towards the right-hand side, so it's going to light up the guitar really nicely. And the reason I want to just choose one big light is because it's going to bring lots of shadows, and that's going to kind of fit the mood and the atmosphere that I'm trying to create. Alright, so now I've got the light in position. Now I'm going to experiment with just changing the position slightly and getting the camera in the right position as well, and then just sort of making slight adjustments, getting myself in position and looking at those, looking at the different positions of the light and seeing how that looks. And that's basically the next process. But this light, by the way, is a Godox SL60W LED light with a big softbox on the front. I think this is an 80 centimeter softbox. If you don't have anything like this or can't afford anything like this, then you can just use something like this, which is just a very cheap LED light attached to a mic stand. And this is relatively inexpensive light, and you can just kind of use this and then put like a piece of fabric in front of it, which softens the light, and spreads it out and gives a very similar effect. You won't get exactly the same, but you will get a very similar effect. You just want a big light source and then you want to kind of spread it out evenly, and you want it to be a large light source that's very soft. And that's basically what this does. And this on the front is a honey cone, and this basically stops the light from getting onto the background. So it kind of focuses the light on me and not the background. So I want the background not to be lit. So it gives that sort of depth of field, a bit more kind of. I want the background to be very different to me, the foreground. So I think I'm finally happy with a shot, sort of. It usually kind of takes a while going back and forth, but I just need to make sure that I quite like the position of this, that the microphone is not kind of in the way, just about not in the way of the whole guitar. So I had to do it like a slight angle like this, but obviously not too much of an angle that you can't really see what's going on with the left hand and the right hand. And also that the camera is low enough. I quite like the camera quite low, in like almost in line with the guitar, so you can see a lot of what the guitar is doing. But obviously not too low that, you know, because there's not a huge amount of gap from the top of my head to the to where it stops, you know. So I've got to make sure that there's enough space that it doesn't look, that it's not chopping off the top of my head sometimes, you know, so it doesn't look weird. But yeah, I'm sort of happy with that, I think. I might make a few adjustments, and obviously I've still got a bit of the light in the shot here. But this general kind of shot is kind of what it would look like. And the camera that I'm using is a Sony ZV-E10, and with a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. And if you don't know what that means, then don't worry. I think the most important thing is that you have manual control over everything, you know, on whatever camera you're using. Even if you're just using a phone, you know, you can still have manual control over certain things. One of the most important things is the focus, I find. So I'm not on automatic focus. I'm on manual focus here, and hopefully I'm in focus. It's hard to tell on such a small screen, but that's why I actually have this hooked up to my computer, my monitor, so I can actually record. I record little bits, and then I review it, and I have a look, and I make sure that I'm in focus, that the shot looks good, because obviously it's hard to see on such a small screen. So I'll do that back and forth to just make sure I've got the shot, because like the microphone, you know, it's a one shot thing, so I got to make sure it's a good shot, you know. Yeah, so it's the focus, and also with this lens, it's a fairly wide angle lens, so you still get a lot of the room in, which I quite like. But it also goes down to f1.4, and that means that it's the amount that is in focus is very, very small. But I don't put it on f1.4. I've got it on f2.5. So that means the amount that's in focus is a bit more, because I move a lot, you know, when I play, and I don't want to be going in and out of focus necessarily. You know, I might want that could be a cool look, but I don't want that too much on this one. So hopefully I'm in focus, and you know, I'm not going to be going in and out of focus all the time. I have all my other settings on manual as well, because I don't want my camera to be adjusting anything during the take, you know. So I just want to set everything, and then even if I'm moving around, you know, because the light might be changing ever so slightly, or the color might be changing, and I don't want the camera to be adjusting anything during the take, you know. So it's best for me to just set them in manual, and then it doesn't move. And you can even do this on a phone as well. You can just set the white balance, set the focus and everything, and then you can just, so the camera or the phone is not trying to adjust things as you're playing, because it can be very off-putting when things are moving around and adjusting during your song and during your take, for people that are watching it and trying to get into the song, you know. So for that reason, I just set everything on manual. So after a lot of back and forth, I think I've finally got the shot that I'm happy with now. There's enough sort of space above my head, but it's kind of low enough that you can kind of see the guitar really well. So I'm quite happy with it. I feel I'm quite even in terms of the gap either side of me, and feels good. You can clearly see my guitar. The mic's not getting in the way of the guitar and stuff. So these are sort of the things that I look for. So yeah, to me it looks good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of tidy up the background a little bit. I want to be a little bit more conscious of what's going on in the background, because you can see it, and I don't want it to be distracting, and I obviously want it to be visually appealing. So, you know, and I don't want it to kind of be all chaotic. It's a bit wild at the moment, so I might kind of tidy things up, just make sure everything kind of looks okay before I go ahead and go for a take.
Tea's gone cold and my feet have froze in this house. The gas spill rose to my fear. I'm far too old to take this cold. The winter is near.
So I really hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look into how I create my videos. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to see the end result of the recording, then click on this video here, and I'll see you over there. Bye.
Has gone cold. The tea has gone